they could immediately lose their right to residence and are at risk of removal. Nadim Baba has more.
He's in the UK right now. Yeah.
Offering some free last-minute advice, these volunteers are helping EU citizens to hold on to the right to be in the UK. Brexit means something that was automatic now has to be applied for. For many vulnerable people, such as the elderly and the homeless, it's proved a huge challenge.
We assist clients that struggle immensely with the application process, with understanding English, most importantly, with lack of evidence that they don't have for their children or other family members, or with lack of any evidence whatsoever.
From Thursday, EU citizens will be in the UK illegally if they haven't applied for either settled status for those in the country for 5 years as of last December, or what's called pre-settled status. More than 5 million people have already done so, but with a backlog of 400,000 cases and an unknown number who aren't already in the system, the government's accepted it will need to be flexible. A week before the deadline, the UK Home Office said it would be issuing anyone who hadn't applied with a 28-day notice. It confirmed that after that period, quote, they may be liable for enforcement action and will not be eligible for work, benefits or services.
If you're an EU citizen living in the UK,
in its official guidance, the Home Office says it'll be lenient with anyone who has a good reason for applying late, and nobody who's waiting for a decision will lose their rights. But campaigners fear a repeat of the Windrush scandal, named after the ship bringing British citizens from the Caribbean colonies to work in the UK after World War II. Under a new hostile environment in the 2010s, thousands of people who'd lived in the country for decades were told to prove it. In many cases, the Home Office had destroyed crucial paperwork. Some Windrush victims were deported. Others had their lives in the UK ruined.
Even though they have been given the opportunity later on to sort out their status, people were denied cancer treatment, or if they were given it, arrived home to find a massive bill, or were not able to find accommodation, were not able to get a job.
And experts are warning there could be real problems in the future for people who, for whatever reason, slip through the net.
If you have people, for example, who simply didn't realise until they tried to get a job 10 years later that they didn't have status, it can be very challenging to go back a long time and try and dig up evidence that you were here many years ago. And that was what created such a challenge for the Windrush generation.
The UK government says it's working to make sure employers and landlords don't discriminate against people who have applied for settled status but haven't got a decision. But for tens of thousands of EU citizens, what happens next is far from clear. Nadim Baba, Al Jazeera, London.
Well, Shukri Hussein is a project coordinator for Polish Migrants Organise for Change, a non-profit organization that works to support Polish, Romanian and Roma communities in the UK. She joins us via Skype from London. Madam, thank you for joining us here on Al Jazeera. Like we were hearing in that report from Nadim Baba, 5 million people have applied for the EU settlement scheme, but basically no one really knows how many Europeans are in the UK and are eligible. So it's hard to know how many haven't applied yet, and a lot of those people could fall through the cracks. So how is your organization trying to reach out to those people and find them?
Well, we receive messages every day from Facebook, Instagram, and even face-to-face with our advisors. And it's clear that, there are people do not know. I mean, the other day we've seen a case of a mother not knowing that she had to apply for her children, and that they would be automatically able to stay just because of the fact of the children. And there's just loads of misconceptions, and that's the issue that we're finding, is that because of the misinformation and the fact that the UK government haven't been so clear in the last 2 years, people are going to fall through the cracks, and it's practically inevitable.
The issue with children is interesting because basically even children that are born here, if they're born to 2 EU parents, even though they're born in the UK, do not have automatic right to citizenship. So that's something that a lot of parents have missed out on. You say you're on Instagram and Facebook. Presumably a lot of the people falling through the cracks are not necessarily technologically savvy, but I'm wondering how much of an issue and an obstacle is language, because of course there's 5 million Europeans at least, but they all speak different languages and some may not even speak English. So for example, at the Polish Migrants Organise for Change Center, how do you try to reach people in their own language, in Polish, that maybe do not follow or read the English speaking press?
And that's exactly what we do. We basically put out videos, content, specifically in the languages, in Polish, Romanes, and Romanian, so people can understand in their own language what they need to do and how to secure their status. Because, English isn't, they don't all know English, and even if they do know English, they may not know the intricate legal language, and that is the issue. And that's what we're, doing by creating videos. Even yesterday, we posted a few videos how to apply without with an expired document, as that's what the Home Office is now on Sunday actually posted that they could. So we're working every day quickly to basically post new updates in Romanian, Polish, and Romanes.
I mean, obviously, the Brexit vote happened 5 years ago, and then the past year has been dominated, well, more than the past year has been dominated by COVID. But there has been a push, certainly in the past month or 6 weeks, to get the word out so that people would apply if they can. What kind of numbers have you seen, and how many people have you seen that genuinely didn't know until you reached them and then applied?
I mean, I don't actually have the exact numbers, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, in other centres and other community centres around the country. Frankly, it's too many to count.
Okay, and how much worry is there that basically a lot of people will not have applied by the deadline, which is end of play of the 30th of June, and at that point, effectively, regardless of how long they've lived in the UK, they don't automatically have a right to stay here if they were EU citizens? I mean, how much worry is that about the afterwards, and I guess any legal assistance that you could give people that would then come to you for help?
I mean, if I basically give you the numbers, so 1 in 6 EU citizens are who receive pensions and benefits have not applied yet, which means one in 6 people may face losing their benefits, may face becoming destitute, and which is not what we want. They may they can't access work, they can't rent, they will face blockage in the essential services in society, and which is problematic, because how can they live like that?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens after the deadline passes. Shukri Hussein, project coordinator for the Polish Migrants Organise for Change group here in London, which assists citizens from Poland and other Eastern European countries. Madam, thank you.